The skills for Queen Gorgo have finally been officially revealed, and what was officially revealed might be a little bit different than what you were expecting. So stick around in this video for a full breakdown on this insane commander who actually, she's gonna break the game. She's so busted, it's nuts. Man, let's go. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today we're looking at the actual skills for Queen Gorgo, the ones released in-game officially that we finally can talk about. I'm so hyped about this, and they might be a little bit different than what you might have seen somewhere else or what you might have been expecting. These are the real ones. These are the official ones, okay? So let's get to it. Oh my god. Queen Gorgo is a smite commander, and if you haven't been around to meet my polar bear friend Cortex, let me tell you, he's generally got a really solid read about what commander performance might look like and what the meta might shape up to be. And his reaction to smite damage is that he was just calling it true damage. And I was like, oh, yes, this kind of is true damage. What does that mean? Okay, let me explain this. And I want to explain it before I even go into her kit because smite damage is nuts. Smite damage, it's like skill damage, but it isn't skill damage. Okay, let's start with that. So anything that mitigates skill damage taken isn't going to work. So smite damage bypasses all skill damage mitigations. At least that's what the VIP support team has been saying so far. And smite damage is enhanced not by skill damage boosts. They do nothing for smite damage, but by normal attack damage boosts. Well, wait a minute. Normal attack already gives you more damage dealt to the thing you're directly targeting in your white number, and also more counterattack damage to everything hitting you. So it is busted how good this is. I just want to be extremely clear. So we've got this smite damage, which is basically true damage, bypassing all forms of mitigation, and it's doing 2,300 factor. Oh, and for the next 3 seconds, you do 10% more normal attack damage. You deal 10% more counterattack damage, and you take 20% less skill damage and deal 5% less skill damage. Okay, deal 5% less skill damage? Who cares? That's like irrelevant. Okay, and take 20% less skill damage? This is mental. This is too strong. I can't believe how good this is. The only thing that tempers this a little bit and makes this more okay is like actually 2,300 damage factor, you know, look, that's like Nevsky levels of damage, and this is still single target damage. So it's smite damage, but it is single target. So a lot of what's happening here is this buffing sequence, boosting your normal attack, boosting your counterattack, reducing the skill damage you deal and take. Okay. It's certainly interesting. The other thing that we need to look at here, can't ignore this, is the 900 rage requirement. I mean, is this a typo? So, although Gorgo is infantry, garrison, and defense, she doesn't have the rage generation you'd generally like to see, especially in the open field. Good news, everyone. If you are using her as the primary, you know, instead of having Rejuvenate's trigger, which, you know, from the skill tree would give you 60 rage per, you just have a lower rage requirement to begin with by 100. So, yeah, no, I mean, that seems like a fine way to deal with the fact that you don't have ways to generate rage, at least not as many of them, in your talents. Seems good to me, okay? So, let's keep going. This is insane so far. I actually really, really cracked, okay? Next skill. Infantry units, led by this commander, gain 20% increased attack. And whenever their troop launches a normal attack, it is a 10% chance to increase the normal attack damage taken by the target. Now, the full values here, it's 40% attack. Wow. And whenever their troop launches that normal attack, it is a 10% chance to increase normal attack damage taken by the target by 30%. Woo! Now, you know, look, making the target take more normal attack damage is really good for things that are getting swarmed. This is not going to increase your smite damage dealt, however. I just want you to understand that. Okay, to my knowledge, a debuff to the enemy's normal attack damage taken shouldn't increase your smite damage unless they consider smite damage as normal attack damage, which makes me think I'm going to have to look into this more now before I can say this conclusively. God, if a normal attack damage debuff onto an enemy makes them take more smite damage as well, that would be so stupidly broken. I can't handle the power level of this commander. I actually am not. I'm not capable. I'm not capable of comprehending the power level of what's going on here. I'm gonna have to ask and find out about this one. That's kind of nutty. With your shielder on it, I actually love this lore here for Leonidas and his wife. That's pretty badass, right? So I believe that she famously said to Leonidas, "Come home with your shielder on it." So cool skill. What does it do? Infantry units led by this commander gain 30% health. Yo, that's cracked. While serving in the garrison. All right. Now this second part, I'm going to assume it works in the field because it's not connected to the when you're in the garrison thing. It's a new sentence. It says whenever their troop launches a normal attack, it is a 25% chance. I'm reacting like that to 25% because normally we see 10%, right? Like we literally just did this. 10% chance. Okay, here's a 25% chance to do smite damage. It's only 300 factor, but like, yo, 1 in every 4 turns, we smite you for 300 factor. All right, I really like instant proc damage, especially in the open field. So let's keep going. The Illuminator passive skill. Whenever this commander's troop deals smite damage, GG, baby, it gains a 30% bonus to normal attack damage for 3 seconds. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, this is going to be so disgusting against swarmers, but also, okay, you instant proc smite, 25% chance every turn to instant proc smite, and then you'll probably have a, smite trigger active here, so your normal attack damage is boosted by 30% for your active skill, probably. So that does a ton of damage, right? Man, I don't know. This seems crazy. Cooldown of 5 seconds. All right, so there is an internal cooldown on this ability, which is good because, I mean, this is not a triggered ability with a percent chance. It's a 100% chance this happens when you deal smite damage. Wow. Okay. Then, the Luminary Lioness. If this commander's troop has less than 50% of units remaining, which is like, okay, so 100% of the time when you're garrisoning, whenever it's hit by a normal attack or a counterattack, it has a 10% chance to gain a mighty shield. Gosh bless it. There's the shield synergy. But, people were telling me like, oh, Chisgule, what if Gorgo has a shielding synergy, And I was like, this is no shielding synergy over here. This is the smallest, itty-bittiest shielding synergy. For you to really want to use hollow square formation here instead of arch formation, the active skill has to be a big fat shield. And it has to be a big fat mighty shield at this point. So this is like a extraordinarily minor shielding synergy. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying you aren't going to use the hollow square just for this, okay? From there, when this is triggered, this skill also reduces the attack of up to 5 nearby enemies by 30% for 3 seconds. So, I mean, yeah. With regard to Ethelfled, I feel like you already have a lot of ways to do health debuffs. Skippy Prime. We already have a lot of ways to do defense debuffs, okay? We've got a lot of defense debuffs at this point. Nevsky, XY. And now we have a way to get an attack debuff. So I kind of wonder if, like, we're really leaving the realm where Ethelfled in the open field has as much value as it used to with the triple debuff and the fat AoE. Maybe the fat AoE is still worth it, and the debuffs probably are still worth, even though they'll overlap with a lot of things. But, like, especially for garrisoning that's getting swarmed, like, this is going to trigger all the time on a normal attack or a counterattack. So this can trigger if I'm just fighting you. You don't even have to be hitting me. Okay, you don't even have to be hitting me. I can trigger this myself. Thank you very much. But if you are hitting me, that also has a chance to trigger it, right? So I think if I'm fighting someone and they're fighting me, right, there's 2 10% chances to trigger, I think. One is from my normal attack. The other is from my counterattack, right? Wow. I mean, this shield is going to happen pretty often. Cooldown of 5 seconds. Yeah, there has to be an internal cooldown on this, or it's just, like, too dumb. Wow. I mean, this kit's insane. I mean, it's like all hail the new meta. It's so busted. And, who do we pair with here? Well, okay, although she's a garrison commander, let me remind you that, like, only one thing was related to the garrison, which is nuts. Infantry units led by this commander gain health. That's the only skill. I would use her in the field. she's probably better than anyone else we have in the field. Who like holds up? Who holds up? The question becomes, okay, what? Let me actually word this the way that I mean it. What pairings are you going to use? So if you use Sargon and Skippy Prime together, because those guys freaking slap, good, lock it in. Okay, you've got Liu Che cooking up here with big smite damage. Maybe you do Guan with Sargon and Skippy with Liu Che. Maybe that's how you do it. But I think if you are going to be a Garrison captain, I feel like Gorgo is going to be mandatory. So if you have her, I wonder if it's finally time to bench the Guan and you just use Liu Che and Gorgo. I don't know. I mean, her damage is not quite as good. I guess the area of effect damage is better on Guan, but like this kit is just so insane. And the debuffs here are just mental. I don't know, man. I am really not sure. This is one we're going to have to test. But I do think it's unusual, we'll say this, that the developers are giving us a Garrison that is strong enough to be used in the open field. And I'm almost like, by default, I'd say she's the one you use in the open field if you're a big infantry player. Seriously. And I think this is an unusual shift. When was the last time we had a Garrison commander that was a field commander? Right? Like, let's think about it. Hera's not in the field. Jan Zizka's not in the field. Jadwiga's not in the field. Xeno's not a field commander. Although you'll see her, buffing rallies, weirdly enough. Right? Like, Flavius is not a field commander. None of these commanders that we've had have I looked at them and been like, oh, you probably should just use that in the field too. But Gorgo, I don't know if we're just missing good infantry that I'm like, oh yeah, maybe just use her in the field, but I'm probably using her in the field over my other options, which feels kind of nutty, but the potential of true damage seems good. And the potential here with the 900 rage requirement, I mean, the only weirdness here, actually the only stupid weirdness is I'm going to have to spend a small fortune on gems to use her in the field, switching between a Garrison talent build and a field talent build. Damn it, that's actually kind of annoying. That's actually really annoying. That's actually, like, it doesn't matter, but like, how many times in a KVK am I going to switch between fielding and garrisoning? Probably a lot, actually. So that's actually super annoying. Cringe. Well, gonna have to figure that one out. But the thing is, if you're using her in the field, you really want her to be the primary, because like 900 rage requirement's dumb. That is a big part of her active skill and its value. So with all that said, let me jump back in game and let's just talk real quick about pairings and what this brings, I think, back to the surface as possible Garrisons. Oh, man. Okay, first up, let's talk Garrisons. Man, I think that Hera would work as a Garrison combo. It would be like an anti-swarm as hell combo. You're still using almost exclusively infantry in this Garrison. And you're going to shield. Your normal attack's going to be insane. You do area of effect damage. You boost your skill damage, which really doesn't help you at all, which is a bummer. However, this commander's troop takes 10% less damage from normal attacks. And if you have 3 different troop types, normal attack damage taken is reduced by an extra 20%. Now, as of this moment in time, we don't know if that will reduce smite damage taken as well. I don't think that it will, but we need to look into that and see exactly how there's going to be interaction, if any, with smite damage. So, yeah, Hera seems like it's going to work and be strong. I would say that Flavius seems like that would work and also be strong. Flavius needs to be the secondary to honor the rage reduction on Gorgo. But, you get some pretty moderate damage factor over here. Look at this, 2,300 damage factor. Man, even Flavius damage factor is looking kind of thin these days compared to other things. That's nuts. Needs to be a full infantry garrison if you're going to do this. And if we just get a look here, increase all damage dealt by 10%, chance to silence the enemy, and you get a counterattack damage boost. So no normal attack damage boost here. If we look to the next garrison, man, what about Xeno? So Xeno does have some skill damage. It's true. But she also boosts your normal attack. Hello? that enhances the smite damage. Xeno could work surprisingly well. I'm actually not sure why we're reviving Xeno. Her life has been too long already. Actually kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it's a good thing when commanders last a while. It's actually really lame when commanders have low relevance or a low lifespan. So, several really good garrisons here. Not to mention Liu Che, who's coming into the game, could actually be an insane garrison combo. And if we're talking about field, if Gorgo is going to be viable in the field, it's going to be with Liu Che. So let's just go back and look at his kit again real quick. So if you use Gorgo primary and Liu Che as the secondary, you're looking at smite damage here of 2,250, and its area of effect damage reduces the enemy's march speed, which is actually super irrelevant. So kind of low damage factor, but smite damage is true damage in this game, so it could just still be worth it. The Mighty Pen, Mighty Sword, infantry defense bonus, seems good. If you have only infantry, you get march speed, but you also take 20% less skill damage. So Infantry Garrison is possible here. Overawing Presence. Looking at an infantry attack bonus of 20% when fighting troops. That works against a rally. When their troop launches a normal attack, 25% chance. God, they both have a 25% chance to do their smite damage. Oh my god, that's too good. That synergy is too good. I honestly think you just put them together in the garrison. I actually think it's going to work. This commander's troop deals 10% more normal attack damage while on the map. Whenever their troop deals smite damage, it reduces the damage dealt by the target troop. Crazy. 10% damage reduction, and you're enhancing your normal attack damage. Oh, but the normal attack damage boost is while you're on the map. All right. So, but you only lose 10% normal attack damage boost. And whenever this troop launches a normal attack, while on the map. See, there's the big loss. There it is. There's the big loss. You don't get your expertise. Yeah, so I'm going to say Liu Che might work in the garrison, but I'm now lukewarm on it because I think losing your extra normal attacks is a pretty big deal. That's a part of the magic here. That makes him nutty in the field, but maybe not as nutty in a garrison. Okay. So I think his kit's okay in the garrison, but not as cracked as I thought it would be. It kind of all depends on if the smite synergy really pops off or not. I'm now lukewarm on this compared to before where I thought it was a slam dunk, maybe. As I refresh myself on this, like, this is such a big deal. But I think they both could be really good on the map together. So, man, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments about this new insane infantry garrison. And heck, you got thoughts about Liu Che? I've made a couple videos about him as well. So all of cards in the end screen talking about smite damage, where I did reveal that, like, hey, look, there was a VIP support conversation that, proved that you circumvent skill damage reductions, which is nutty with your smite damage. I'll also have a video in the end screen where I just talk about Liu Che overall and how you should plan for him. Because, man, these two commanders, I mean, I'm pretty hyped that infantry are going to be cracked, but I am also a little anxious that, like, new commanders seem like they're going to be so cracked. That's crazy. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.